Let me ask you something that might sound simple but could change the way you look at your daily routine. Are you taking a D3 and K2 pill every day because you heard it's good for your bones, or maybe for your heart? You're not alone. In fact, this has become one of the most common supplement combinations recommended to adults over 50. You'll see it everywhere. Support bone strength, protect against arterial calcification. The perfect duo for healthy aging. And yes, D3 and K2 do play important roles. But here's where it gets tricky. Many people are taking this combo blindly, no blood tests, no dosage awareness, no monitoring. Just a pill a day every day because it sounds smart. I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, and this is the Shigeki Podcast, where science meets longevity, and where we gently challenge the habits that might be doing more harm than good. As always, I'm joined by my brilliant friend and co-host, Dr. William Lee, a globally respected physician and researcher who spent decades exploring how nutrients and blood vessels affect long-term health, especially in aging populations.
Thank you, Mark. And yes, D3 and K2 together can be a beautiful biological partnership. D3 helps your intestines absorb calcium from food. K2 helps escort that calcium out of your blood vessels and into your bones where it belongs. When used properly, this combination may prevent both osteoporosis and arterial calcification. And it's a big but a good pill used the wrong way becomes a risk. Especially after the age of 50, your kidneys begin to slow down. The filtration rate drops. Your body becomes more sensitive to mineral fluctuations like calcium. That means what used to be harmless in your 30s could now tip the balance. And when calcium starts building up in the wrong places like your kidneys, it doesn't whisper. It sneaks, slowly, quietly, until one day your blood pressure spikes, your energy drops, or your doctor says your kidney numbers are a little off.
And that's exactly what we're going to explore in today's episode. Why this combo works, but only in specific situations. How it can silently damage your kidneys if misused. And most importantly, what to do instead. Because the goal isn't to scare you, it's to inform you. So you can keep the benefits of vitamin D and K2 while protecting one of your body's most underappreciated organs, your kidneys. So if you or someone you care about is taking a D3 K2 combo daily hit, like, subscribe, and share this episode now. One small change in how you supplement could make a huge difference in your kidney.
Let's get real for a moment. Vitamin D3 and K2 are powerful. No one's denying that. But just because something is good doesn't mean more is better, and it definitely doesn't mean it's harmless. When D3 and K2 are taken without proper testing, without context, and especially without balancing minerals, they can start to put real pressure on your kidneys, often without any warning signs. And this risk becomes more serious after age 50, when your body's internal filters, your kidneys naturally slow down. Let's break it down.
Here's the first and most critical mechanism. Vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption. That's its job, to help your gut pull more calcium out of the food you eat. Sounds great, right? But here's the catch. When you increase calcium absorption without enough magnesium to help direct and regulate that calcium, it starts going rogue. The calcium that should go to your bones starts hanging around in your bloodstream.
And what does your body do with all that extra calcium? It tries to get rid of it, and that job falls on your kidneys. But your kidneys can only filter so much, especially as you get older. Over time, this excess calcium can begin to crystallize, forming microscopic deposits that clog the delicate filtering structures in your kidneys.
This isn't just about kidney stones. It's about chronic low-grade damage that builds up slowly. You might feel fine now, but your lab tests might already be showing early warning signs, and most people never notice until it's too late. And that's why this conversation matters. Because you can avoid this, but only if you understand what's happening behind the scenes.
Here's something most people don't realize. Your kidneys age too. After the age of 50, it's completely normal for your glomerular filtration rate, or GFR, to start dropping. That's the speed at which your kidneys filter waste and excess minerals out of your blood. Now, when GFR drops, it doesn't mean your kidneys stop working, but it does mean they're not as efficient. They clear toxins, medications, and minerals more slowly. And one of the biggest troublemakers in this scenario is calcium.
Exactly. When you take D3, especially in high or consistent doses, your body starts pulling more calcium into your bloodstream from food. That calcium doesn't just vanish, it has to go somewhere. And if your kidneys can't clear it fast enough, it starts to build up little by little. That buildup doesn't always turn into full-blown kidney stones right away. Sometimes it begins with microscopic crystals forming inside the kidney's filtering tubules. These are tiny silent irritants. They cause inflammation, stress the kidney tissues, and over time can contribute to chronic kidney damage long before you ever feel pain or notice symptoms.
This is why people over 50 need to be extra cautious when taking calcium-enhancing supplements like D3, especially without balancing minerals or regular blood work. What feels like a daily health habit might quietly be creating a burden your kidneys can't keep up with.
Now, here's the real danger, and it's happening more than we think. When people take high-dose vitamin D3 every single day for weeks or even months, without checking their blood levels or kidney function, they're walking into a silent storm. Vitamin D3 is fat-soluble, which means it doesn't just flush out like vitamin C. It gets stored in your body. And if you keep adding more, especially 4,000 IU, 5,000 IU, or even higher, your system eventually reaches a tipping point. The result? Excess calcium starts circulating, and over time, it finds its way into places it doesn't belong, including your kidneys.
This isn't something you'll feel right away. That's what makes it so tricky. The calcium begins to accumulate, slowly causing low-grade inflammation in the kidneys. Your blood pressure may start to creep up. You may feel more tired than usual or get up more at night to urinate. But it's easy to blame that on aging or stress. By the time real symptoms show up, like significant kidney pain, abnormal lab results, or fatigue that won't go away, there's already chronic damage. The kidneys are incredibly resilient, but once scar tissue forms, it doesn't heal easily. That's why early awareness matters.
So, if you're taking D3 daily and haven't checked your levels in months, pause. Your body may be telling you something quietly and your kidneys are listening.
Many people assume that as long as they're taking vitamin K2 along with D3, they're safe from calcium-related issues. After all, K2's job is to direct calcium into the bones and keep it out of soft tissues. And yes, that's true. But what most people forget is that K2 doesn't work alone. For calcium to be metabolized and moved correctly, your body also needs magnesium and plenty of it. Magnesium helps activate enzymes that are critical in calcium transport and also plays a role in calming inflammation. Without enough magnesium, your body has the calcium, has the K2, but still can't complete the process.
Think of it like this. K2 is the traffic director, but magnesium is the power behind the signal lights. Without it, calcium has the green light to go anywhere, and often ends up in places it shouldn't. That means arteries, joints, soft tissue, and the kidneys. Over time, this leads to stiffness, plaque buildup, and renal stress.
We see this all the time. People take D3 with K2 faithfully, but no one ever mentioned magnesium. And then they wonder why their blood pressure is going up, or why lab tests show early signs of kidney strain. It's not because they're doing something wrong, it's because they're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle. So before you count on K2 to protect you, ask yourself, is magnesium even in the equation? Because without it, even the smartest supplement combo can backfire.
One of the biggest challenges with kidney damage, especially in its early stages, is that it's almost completely silent. Unlike your heart or stomach, your kidneys don't usually scream for help. They whisper. And if you're not listening closely, you might miss the signs until it's too late.
Let's talk about those whispers. Early signs of kidney stress often include persistent fatigue, the kind where you sleep but never feel refreshed. Or you may notice mild swelling in your ankles, fingers, or under the eyes, something easy to dismiss as just fluid retention. Another sign, frequent nighttime urination. Getting up once or twice may be normal, but when it starts happening every night, it could mean your kidneys are struggling to concentrate urine. You might also see tiny bubbles or foam in the toilet, a sign of protein leaking into your urine known as proteinuria. And then there's unexplained high blood pressure. Many people think their rising numbers are just part of getting older, but the kidneys play a key role in regulating blood pressure. If they're under stress from too much calcium, too little magnesium, or hidden inflammation, your pressure can go up even if your lifestyle hasn't changed.
The problem is, most people chalk these signs up to normal aging. They don't realize their kidneys are quietly taking damage. And worse, they don't get tested. Simple labs like creatinine, eGFR, or a urine protein check can reveal kidney issues early when they're still reversible. That's why we're here to help you notice the small things before they become big problems. Because your kidneys don't complain until they're overwhelmed, and by then, you've already lost valuable time.
We've talked about the risks, now let's talk about how to do it right. Because vitamin D3 and K2 are still important, especially after 50. But they must be used intentionally, not automatically. So here are 7 practical strategies to help you support your bones without hurting your kidneys. And it all starts with check blood before supplementing. This sounds basic, but most people skip it. They hear that D3 is good, so they take it. No testing, no baseline, no monitoring. That's like pouring gas into a car without checking the tank.
Before adding D3 to your routine, get a blood test for 25-hydroxyvitamin D, also called 25-OHD. The ideal range is 40 to 60 ng/ml for most adults. If you're already in that range, you probably don't need to supplement at all, or only need a low dose. And while you're at it, also ask for creatinine and eGFR, 2 simple tests that measure your kidney function. Many people over 50 have early kidney decline and don't know it. If your filtration rate is already reduced, high doses of D3 could be too much for your body to handle.
The key takeaway, don't guess. Test. Your body is unique. And when it comes to supplements, especially fat-soluble ones like D3, personalized dosing isn't a luxury, it's a necessity.
Now that you've tested your blood levels, the next step is knowing how much is enough, and not falling into the trap of thinking more is better. Because with fat-soluble vitamins like D3, excess doesn't just get flushed out, it lingers, it builds up, and it quietly starts to stress the kidneys.
For most people over 50, a daily dose of 1,000 to 2,000 IU of vitamin D3 is enough to maintain healthy blood levels, especially if you get some sun exposure or eat fatty fish regularly. If your blood levels are already in range, you might only need DA3 a few times a week rather than every day. As for vitamin K2, the ideal maintenance dose is 90 to 120 micrograms per day. You can also take it every other day, especially if you're getting some K2 from food like eggs, cheese, or natto. There's no need to megadose unless your doctor has clearly told you otherwise.
Unfortunately, many over-the-counter combo pills contain 5,000 IU of D3 or more, and people take them daily without realizing they're exceeding their needs. That's when problems start, especially if kidney function is already borderline. So the goal isn't to stop supplementation altogether, it's to bring it back into balance. Enough to support bone and immune health, but not so much that it overwhelms your kidneys. Supplements should fill gaps, not create new ones.
One of the most overlooked aspects of vitamin D3 and K2 supplementation is timing, specifically when and how you take them. Both of these vitamins are fat-soluble, which means your body can only absorb them properly in the presence of dietary fat. So if you're popping your D3 and K2 combo first thing in the morning on an empty stomach with just water or black coffee, you're wasting most of it. Even worse, it may cause slight stomach discomfort in some people. And when your body doesn't absorb these nutrients properly, you might think you need a higher dose, when what you really need is just a smarter routine.
To get the most benefit, always take your D3 and K2 after a meal that contains healthy fats. We're talking about meals with olive oil, avocado, nut seeds, or fatty fish like salmon or mackerel. These fats help shuttle the vitamins through your digestive tract and into your bloodstream. Also avoid taking these supplements late at night, especially if your dinner was low fat or you skipped it altogether. Absorption will be poor, and it may even interfere with your natural melatonin cycle, especially in sensitive individuals.
So remember, with fat-soluble vitamins, fat is your friend, and so is good timing. A simple shift from any time to right after a healthy meal can make all the difference in how your body responds.
Now, here's a tip that surprises a lot of people: don't take your D3K2 with calcium-rich foods. That means no milk, cheese, fortified cereal, or calcium supplements at the same time. I know it sounds counterintuitive after all. D3 helps absorb calcium, right?
That's true, but there's a catch. If you combine high doses of D3 and K2 with a calcium-rich meal or supplement, you risk flooding your bloodstream with calcium all at once. It's like opening the floodgates, and your body may not be ready to handle that surge. When too much calcium enters the blood too quickly, especially in older adults with slower kidney filtration, it can settle in the wrong places like arteries, joints, or kidneys. Instead of building bone, that calcium gets misplaced.
So, the smart move is, if you're eating dairy or calcium-fortified foods, take your D3 and K2 at a different time of day, preferably with a meal that has healthy fats but low calcium. That way you still absorb your vitamins well without overloading your system with calcium in one hit. It's not about avoiding calcium, it's about timing. And with the right timing, you help your body do exactly what it was designed to do: build strong bones, not strain your kidneys.
Sometimes the simplest habit is also the most powerful, and that's drinking enough water, especially when you're supplementing with D3 and K2. Hydration becomes essential for kidney health. The reason is, when you take D3, your body starts absorbing more calcium from food. That's the goal. But any calcium your body doesn't use needs to be filtered out by the kidneys, and the kidneys rely on a steady flow of water to do that properly.
If you're even mildly dehydrated, the minerals in your urine become more concentrated, and that's when microscopic crystals can start to form. Over time, this can increase your risk of calcium deposits, kidney stones, or low-grade inflammation. So, make it a daily goal: 6 to 8 glasses of water spread out throughout the day. More if you're active or live in a hot climate. Sip slowly, don't chug all at once, and don't rely only on coffee or tea to hydrate, since they can have a mild diuretic effect.
This one habit, simple, free, and often overlooked, could be the key to protecting your kidneys while still enjoying the benefits of your supplements. So drink up, your body will thank you.
Even the best supplements aren't meant to be taken non-stop forever. Your body thrives on rhythm, and that includes knowing when to rest. With vitamin D3 and K2, one smart approach is to cycle your intake instead of using them continuously year-round.
Here's how it works. After 2 to 3 months of daily supplementation, take a 2 to 4 week break. This allows your body to reset, prevents excessive accumulation, especially of fat-soluble D3, and gives your kidneys a breather from constant calcium regulation. During this off cycle, it's important to get your vitamin D from natural sources. Spend 15 to 20 minutes in morning sunlight, if possible. No sunscreen needed during that short window. And include foods like wild-caught salmon, sardines, egg yolks, and mushrooms exposed to sunlight.
This cyclical approach mirrors how the body used to function before supplements even existed, with changing season, sun exposure, and diet variety. It respects the body's natural adaptability and helps prevent long-term imbalances. So, instead of relying on one pill every day without pause, listen to your body, support it with real food and sunlight, and give your supplement routine a break. Sometimes doing less is exactly what your kidneys need to heal and thrive.
To wrap up, here's what I hope sticks with you today. D3 and K2 is not magic. It's a tool, a powerful one. But like any tool, if you use it the wrong way, it can do damage. And the organ that often takes the hit first, silently, is your kidney. You might start taking it for your bones or your heart, and that's great. But if you skip the basics like blood tests, magnesium hydration, or rest cycles, you're not helping your body. You're slowly overloading it.
That's why we say, don't just follow the label, follow your body. The back of a bottle doesn't know your kidney function. It doesn't know your lifestyle or how much sun you get, but your body does. So check in with it, respect its pace, and adjust accordingly. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness. When you understand how your body works, you can make smarter choices. The goal is to protect your bones and your kidneys, not trade one for the other.
So, are you currently taking a D3K2 combo? This is the time to check your dosage. Ask your doctor for a blood test and tune in to how your body's reacting. Drop us a comment that, have you ever tested your kidney function while taking vitamins? You might be surprised by what you find. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time. So,